Title: Tears of the Innocent Bride. In a quiet village, Amina, a gentle and hardworking girl, lives with her widowed mother. Though poor, Amina is known for her beauty, kindness, and dreams of becoming a teacher to help the children of her village. But her life takes a dark turn when Chief Balogun, a wealthy but cruel man old enough to be her father, demands her hand in marriage. Chief Balogun is feared by the villagers. He controls the land, intimidates families, and uses money to bend people to his will. Amina begs her mother not to accept, for her heart secretly belongs to Connor, a humble young farmer. But her mother, pressured by poverty and debt, reluctantly agrees to the chief's proposal, hoping it will bring the family out of suffering. On the day of the marriage, Amina's tears stain her bridal veil. She is taken to the chief's mansion, where she quickly discovers his harshness. He treats her not as a wife, but as property. He locks her dreams away, forbidding her to teach or even visit the village freely. But Amina's spirit refuses to be broken. In secret, she continues teaching children in the evenings, writing lessons on scraps of paper. Connor, still devoted to her, supports her from afar, bringing courage to her lonely heart. Over time, the villagers notice Amina's quiet strength and bravery. Inspired by her resilience, they begin to stand against the chief's wickedness. His power starts to weaken as the people unite, and whispers of rebellion rise. The story unfolds into a powerful battle between greed and innocence, oppression and hope, with Amina at the center, a girl who had been forced into suffering but refused to let her light be destroyed. The sun rose gently over the thatched roofs of Okal village, painting the sky with strokes of gold. The morning was alive with the cries of roosters, the chatter of women heading to the stream, and the smell of firewood smoke curling from small mud kitchens. In one of the poorest corners of the village lived Amina, a girl whose heart was richer than her pocket. Her widowed mother, Mama Sod, worked tirelessly, weaving mats and selling palm oil at the market, but life remained a struggle. Amina, despite her ragged clothes, was the pride of the village. Her beauty shone like the morning sun, her laughter carried hope, and her dream of becoming a teacher gave light to children who gathered around her after farm work to learn their alphabets. But life, as it often does, turned cruel. In the grand compound at the center of the village lived Chief Balogun, a man with wealth dripping from every corner of his house, big bands of yam, cattle that grazed in abundance, and servants who bowed at his call. Yet, beneath his riches was a heart as dark as the night. He was feared more than respected, known for his wickedness and pride. When Chief Balogun set eyes on Amina at the village festival, desire took root in his heart. He declared before the elders that she would be his wife. The villagers whispered in shock. Amina was young enough to be his daughter, and everyone knew his temper. But who dared to challenge the chief? Mama Sod, though torn with guilt, had debts piling high and no means to pay. When the chief offered money, farmland, and protection in exchange for Amina's hand, her resistance broke. With trembling lips, she told her daughter, "Amina, my child, sometimes the river flows where we do not wish to go. Forgive me." Amina's words shattered. Her heart belonged to Connor, a humble farmer with kind eyes, calloused hands, and a soul that matched hers. They had dreamt of a simple life together, teaching, farming, and raising children. Now those dreams were being stolen before her eyes. The wedding of tears. The day of the wedding arrived. Drums beat loudly, masquerades danced, and villagers gathered in full celebration. Amina walked down the aisle in white, but her veil was heavy with tears. Connor stood in the crowd, his fist clenched, his chest burning with helplessness. Chief Balogun, dressed in rich abode, smiled with pride as he placed his hand over Amina's. But to her, his touch felt like chains of fire. That night, she entered his mansion not as a bride, but as a prisoner. The cruel mansion. Life in the chief's house was misery. He backed orders, forbade her from seeing Connor or teaching children, and mocked her dreams. He paraded her like a trophy before guests but never showed her love. Yet Amina's spirit was unbroken. At night, when the compound was quiet, she sneaked out to the backyard where village children waited in secret. With scraps of paper and charcoal, she continued to teach them under the moonlight. Her voice, though soft, became the flame of hope in the darkness. Whispers of rebellion. Slowly, the village began to change. The children carried knowledge back to their families. Women admired Amina's courage, and men began to question the chief's authority. Connor, though heartbroken, supported her from the shadows, helping her hide books and protecting her secret meetings. The chief, however, grew suspicious. His wrath thundered through the village when he discovered her secret school. He beat his chest in anger, threatening to drive the villagers from their lands. But something had shifted. Fear was no longer stronger than hope. For the first time, the villagers stood as one. They declared that Amina belonged not to the chief, but to the people, and that his wickedness would no longer rule their lives. The ending. Here the story can branch. 1. Tragic ending. Chief Balogun, in his rage, burns Amina's secret classroom and banishes her. She becomes a symbol of lost innocence, and Connor is left mourning her fate. The village remains scarred, warning future generations of greed and power. 2. Triumphant ending. The villagers rise against Chief Balogun, stripping him of his authority. Amina is freed, reunited with Connor, and together they build the first school in the village. Her suffering becomes the seed of a new dawn, where no girl is forced into bondage again.